Yo, all these thoughts keep me up at night, yeah. What am I doing, did I do it right, yeah. All these thoughts keep me up at night, yeah. I can't think straight, need the light. I need to breathe, get me up and out of the sheets. Onto my feet, another cup of coffee and me. That's what I need, my eyes puffy, I can't see. I'm too tired to function, but too lost to sleep. Ay, I think I need to be on something medication. I think I need to figure out the segregation. I think I needed just a better education to understand a world that's so complicated. Intoxicated, every night faded, just so I can sleep thinking that it's sated. I feel hated, I feel hatred, I'm lost deep in my mind that I've created. I have dreams where my life is devastated, feel so real that I wake up shaking. Need thicker skin cause this life is no haven. Nod your head if you get what I'm saying. All these thoughts keep me up at night, yeah. What am I doing, did I do it right, yeah. All these thoughts keep me up at night, yeah. I can't think straight, need the light, yo. All these thoughts keep me up at night, yeah. What am I doing, did I do it right, yeah. All these thoughts keep me up at night, yeah. I can't think straight, need the light. I don't really think I understand this world now. Got my head spinning round in a circle. Everybody lacks what they need internal, so they compensate with everything external. Not trying to throw shade, no way. I'm just trying to find the meaning of life, hey. There's happiness if you try to live the right way. Forget about what others have and live your life, hey. Be aware of who you are, what you're good at. Take a step forward, see where your foot's at. Stand tall, stand proud, talk loud. Every word out your mouth has purpose now. You just gotta get rid of the bad thoughts. Hating others cause you know that they gotta lie. Forget that though, you got plenty, you're alive in this life. You got time, go get it. All these thoughts keep me up at night, yeah. What am I doing, did I do it right, yeah. All these thoughts keep me up at night, yeah. I can't think straight, need the light, oh. All these thoughts keep me up at night, yeah. What am I doing, did I do it right, yeah. All these thoughts keep me up at night, yeah. I can't think straight, need the light, oh.
Person to get merch of my merch to with permission to share it on social media. So I'm trying to make a nice post. But she was one of my very first friends. She grew up down the block from me. She's gotten behind me, but not stayed behind me, is what I mean to say. So just to give you guys an update of what's going on, the reason I'm sitting on this side and the reason I wasn't feeling... Oh, sorry.
All right.
It's okay. The reason I haven't been feeling good the last couple of days is because I have developed a pain in my back and or bottom of my lung. And what I mean by that is if I take a deep breath or gasp, those are the two major things. A hard deep breath or a gasp, it shoots a pain that I can't even, it takes my breath away again. It's weird. But then of course makes me want to gasp more. In the bottom right lobe of my lung, but actually like in my back. Like I don't know if it's my lung or my back because you know they're very close. So last night I realized, and the only thing that helps it is laying on it. Laying on it actually does help. And I'm not used to laying on my right side as much because my knee doesn't like for me to lay on my right side, but my back doesn't like for me to lay on my left side, and neither one of them appreciate me laying on my stomach. So I'm kind of screwed. So one of the things we talked about is possibly switching. This morning I woke up and I realized, I said, let me try switching because maybe Oreo like jumped on me and maybe like fractured a tumor rib or whatever. And it hasn't gotten worse, which I said to Jim. I didn't want to go to the emergency room on his birthday. I said, if it gets worse tomorrow. It actually is slightly better today, but I think it's because I'm being more cautious of what I do. Mm-hmm. I'm paying a little more attention to... I can't help it when I gasp, but obviously...
Have you tried to take a deep breath?
It hurts. When I take a deep breath, it hurts. Now, if I take a slow deep breath, it only throbs. It doesn't sharp. Whenever I take a deep breath, it's a sharp stabbing pain. Whenever I take a deep breath slow, it's like a slow achy pain. Does that make sense? Like a dull... Mm-hmm. Yeah, so...
Because I'm thinking maybe it could be either a rib or your diaphragm.
Well, it could be. I'm not going to deny it. Anything's going on down there. We also were we had a friend who we saw and then got diagnosed with COVID. So at first I was like, oh my God, is this like pneumonia? But my breathing isn't different. I don't have any other symptoms. It's just coincidentally happened at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I was just thinking maybe that was the case. And then I also realized that when I sit on that couch, I do a lot of like
Leaning into that
turning
side.
left. Yeah, like turning left and stretching this out. Now that I like here, I can do all this here and that's fine. Like turn to my right isn't as bad as turning to my left. With the same principle of leaning against, like sleeping on the bed or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I just have to move all my crap. I'm okay. It's just temporary. It's not permanent. Um, so,
She says, "Good afternoon, beautiful souls."
um,
Maybe hers. I don't know about mine.
it is beautiful. Are you kidding? Would I be with you if you didn't have a beautiful soul?
If she only knew about the darkness that hides in the
I
corner.
know about the darkness
Joking.
that hides in the corner. It doesn't make your soul less beautiful. Because it's not the darkness that you hide away. That's if you put the darkness out in the front, in the forefront, then it would be like you didn't have a beautiful soul because you tried to hide, cover all the goodness with badness. But you don't do that. You
No.
hide the darkness. That's important. That's what makes. We all have darkness inside of us. You know that, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm not trying to quote Sirius Black or whatever. We all have good and bad in us. It's what we choose to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
That's what makes you beautiful. We talked about possibly lighting up the fire pit tonight. I suggested to Jim that be tonight was such a good night. It's gonna be clear and it's gonna be cool. I think it'd be so nice to just sit out there. I think the dog would like it too. Like I think,
Yeah. Just have to be careful.
of
with
course.
it.
Oh, of course, honey. Yeah, of course. We'll definitely share a tour of how everything looks now because we're trying to really get it all done. Have we told them about the plumbing situation? What? Do you mind if I tell them about the plumbing situation? For those of you who guys know, somebody have a question first? Because you're shaking
Well,
me like.
as Leslie says, "How are y'all doing? We are good here, and the sun is shining."
Yes, the sun is shining. It's going to be high of 72 today. So beautiful.
Yeah.
That's what you told me. So it's going to be a beautiful day. We're probably going to open the house in a little bit, but we can't really open it when it's like 65 because then Mom's like, I protest. And then she runs inside. No, I'm kidding. We're just going to wait for it to warm up a little bit before we open up the house and get all like the beautiful autumn. There's no breeze, so that's one thing. So it'll be a little bit better. There's zero breeze. The tree is like still. We had we're gonna have, a big storm system coming through, so we'll have a couple of days of rain, which will be good and bad for everything. You know, we need rain so we don't have forest fires, but we also don't want to flood out. More questions, or you just tapping me because you love me? Jim squeezes my hand when he tells me to shut up. Basically, it's a nice way of saying, "Hey, shut
Mary
up." Someone's
Long
got a
is
question.
asking, "How is the sale of the house going?"
Well, that's what I started to tell.
Okay.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So, the sale of the house is not going. It's still on the market right now, but we haven't had even a phone call of anybody interested. I went and looked at the listing, and I thought I think we need to pick a different real estate agent. That's my opinion. We haven't decided yet, but I don't like the effort that they're putting into trying to sell our house. Exactly, what effort? Well, you know what I mean. That's exactly right. The lack of effort. Also, they haven't tried to give us anything to do to increase the value of our house. They lowballed what they thought they could sell it for. I feel like it just felt to me like they called it in almost like let me just advertise and let it sell itself. Like that's how I felt, you know. That being said, we have had some plumbing issues. So those of you who do know, have been around for a long time, I have mentioned it plenty of times that this side of the house, the original ranch house, was built. The extensions were built after, like not far after, but they were built separately, not by the actual builder. So the drain pipe that's going from the original part of the house is 55 years old and has gotten tree roots in it and cracked and backed up, and flooding into my crawl space, or our crawl space. I'm sorry. I just said my crawl space because it's on that side of the house, not mom's crawl space. And obviously the whole house is mom's. I'm not trying to say it's not. Leave me alone. But the crawl space that's under that half of the house, under our bathroom, first the bathroom started backing up, and then we couldn't get it to flush. And the guy came in. He said, "Oh, it looks like the flange needs to be replaced, the one that comes up from the ground." And he's like, "Okay, so what's that? X amount of dollars." Okay, so then he comes back to do the flange, and he goes into the crawl space, and he's like, "Nope, sorry, the pipe that's going into the house is cracked and has issues." And okay, great. So that was the whole thing. And then he comes back to do that part of the thing, runs the whole hose down the hallway, the camera down the whole thing, and finds out it's actually the pipe that's in the yard, going out to the street. It's unfortunately looks like it's directly under
piping.
Yes, cast iron.
Cast iron. Okay.
Sorry. The thing that is unfortunate is it's the roots for the big beautiful tree in the front of our house. The one that's full. It's a full tree. It's when we moved here, it was the only full tree. This one was already on its way to losing branches and limbs, but it was the second full. It's went from being a small problem for a couple of several $100s to a big problem for several $1,000s is what I meant to say, because we don't know exactly how much it's going to be. But we're working on it. We're taking it in stride. I said to Mom, I'm glad they found it, because we had issues. Otherwise, like, the home inspector for the buyer might have come in and found it, and it might have, they might have tried to take way more off the asking price for them to fix it than it will actually cost us to fix it, because they do that. They use it as a bargaining tool. So that is also going to be good. Also, having the new system, the new drain system to that half of the house will also be a bonus. Increase the cell. That's kind of, good things. So we're trying to get it all fixed up and staged so that when we are ready to, people start coming in, it'll look as promising as we know it is, if that makes any sense. We've been talking as a family of a few different things we're going to possibly try, maybe see, but everything's in steps. So now we have to see this plumbing. So we were going to do this plan. We're going to put plan C into motion, but then this plumbing issue happened. So now this is kind of plan D. Do we go back to plan C when plan D is complete? It's one of those things. Life happens. God laughs while you're busy making plans. Is that how it goes? So it's one of those things. We're just, trying to take each step in stride. Of course, it's not pleasant. When you have something that you want to do and you want to get it done. It's just a lot of different things come up, and
right. Leslie says similar.
What we did overlook when we were researching, and we found this out afterwards, after we visited and started to really look at prices. We looked at how low versus the national average the cost of living was at the place where we're moving, but we never compared it to how low the cost of living was here. So that was one thing we were like, oh, it's 11% less than the cost, the highest in cost of living, but then we realized that we're like 17% lower in Rolla. But so that was the part we were like, oh, it's still good, but then we were like, no, it's cheaper here. But that's the big difference. But it also has more potential for turnover as well. The city.
On a major highway.
Yeah. Well, close.
It doesn't have a bunch of college. It doesn't have college.
That's true. That's true.
We have we're on what they call drug route 1, and with the college, and
coming through Texas, up from Texas.
Coming up from Texas, yeah.
I don't know that that's such a problem anymore, though, because of the legalization of
Right.
of marijuana as recreationally legal here in this state. So it's definitely slowed that down a lot, which is kind of good. Not that it keeps other stuff. Not that there's not other stuff to be had, but I think some of that nefarious stuff is actually. I don't really know how to say this without sounding like I'm advertising for it, but when it's a lot easier to grow crystal meth in the rural areas than it is in the cities. So it's not something they would traffic up from Texas. We've got plenty of rural areas here to do it themselves. So that's not something that's going to come or go. I don't know if that's going to be different either. So, I mean, that's the only thing.
Well, because
The benefit of moving to a city is,
Colorado is recreational as well.
yeah.
But from what I've heard, certain parts of Colorado which had problems with the illegal stuff, they've cracked down on it.
Yeah, oh yeah. I mean, every area is like that too,
Yeah.
That was one of the big things here.
But the bonus of Colorado is mountains, which I love.
Just so many bonuses.
Forests I love.
We've got forests here.
And mountains here, so
Well,
they're not.
These are not mountains.
They're
These are
not.
molehills.
Okay, I appreciate what you're saying. If you're comparing them to the Rockies, which the Rockies are the biggest mountain range in the United States, and what is it like? How? I should ask. It's up like I think it's I don't know if it's the top 10 in the world. I don't know. It's up there even in the world's highest mountain largest mountain range.
Right.
But these are the Ozark Mountains. Now, Rollo lives in the foothills of the Ozark Mountains, but this is the Ozark Mountains. They're right there. Like, you could go mountain climbing, jigging, whatever, landsliding. I don't know what you want to do. Hiking. Hiking, you said, right?
If my house is at a level where everything looks like normal, it does not look like
Then you never
mountains.
want to live on the mountain, then? Because then if you live on the mountain, that's what it's going to look like. And you're going to be higher than everything else. Your whole neighborhood on the mountain is going to be higher than everything else. Nothing's going to be higher. You're going to be able to look down on people like you like. Is that it?
No. I like to look up and see the mountains, not go,
I
oh,
know.
look, our neighbors.
Well, that's what I'm saying, honey. But that would be the same way if you talk about, you talked about possibly living up there where it's away from everything in a cabin, away from everybody.
It's during the summertime.
Like that's what I'm saying. If you live on a mountain, that's what we do. We live on.
I want the cabin for myself so I can get away from you for every so often.
Well, that's okay. I'll be at the Dollar Tree.
Drive yourself. But they basically call the other side the hateful floor. Because that's all that comes out of their mouth is just
Are you
venom.
talking about the Foxy
Mhm.
on Facebook? Yeah.
Mhm.
I added some stickers to my iPad for those of you who are asked. So my part of that story is, if I can interject, was
Yeah, go ahead.
I wasn't feeling good, and I'll tell you guys what's going on in a few minutes. But I knew I wasn't going to be able to bake him a cake, and I knew I wasn't going to be able to go out and get him Dunkin' or surprise donuts or any of these things that I would have done any other time. So I was looking on Walmart. I got together with a friend who was trying to like help me be, subversive, I guess is the word. That I was trying to figure out like what kind of cake would be like what Jim would like. And I was looking at all of them, and as I started to look further and further, I was like, you know what? This one's pretty cool. It had a slice of red velvet, it's just a quarter of red velvet, a quarter of German chocolate, a quarter of regular chocolate with chocolate frosting, or fudge cake, and then a quarter of carrot cake. Which, by the way, the carrot cake there was way more than spice cake than carrot cake, which then you liked because it's the extra carrot part, the texture on the carrot part you don't really care for. So it was really good. And then when I was like, Jim's other favorite thing to have is like lemon loaf. He loves lemon loaf. So I was like, let me try to find something with vanilla, because Mom, those first four there, again, Mom the same way. She would eat the German chocolate if it didn't have coconut in the frosting. So that was, what, Mom?
I love German chocolate.
Yeah.
I just hate
Yeah, just ate the coconut. My down your throat type thing. So when he was gone, I sent him out on an errand. He didn't go on an errand, I sent him out. And he took Oreo, and when he came, I hobbled my way into the kitchen. I cleared up the kitchen island, and I opened the two cakes, and I had got this little plastic thing that said happy birthday, and I stuck half in each of the two cakes, put his little card down. Just because I couldn't have done anything else. On his birthdays, we always make them special. I make you like fresh cinnamon rolls or a big breakfast in bed or something like, times are different right now, but we do what we can, right?
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't disappointed.
Good.
I mean,
I'm glad.
got to have some cake. I got to sit down most of the day and play on the computer. And
He made an Amazon wish list for his birthday / Christmas, and I picked something off of there. It's coming Wednesday because we had to wait for like payday.
yeah,
So that's good. He doesn't. I also told him to stay off Amazon so he won't peek at what it is.
I don't stay off of Amazon, but I don't always peek on what's been ordered. I don't know.
Well, sometimes it comes up though, whether you want to or not. It'll tell you. The same thing with the digital assistants. They'll tell you like your package including batteries is being the first time when you grow it.
Yeah.
You know. But also we were oiling it every day and everything, and you don't do that anymore.
No, I got
Jim's self-care has gone in the toilet, and I'm really mad at him for it. He does a lot of like I have to take care of myself first, put on my oxygen mask, but he does stuff to me that's not self-care. You do stuff that's like, I guess to you it seems like self-care, but to me it just doesn't. You know, spending so much time on your device to that you consider that's time you need for yourself, and I get it. But it's the things like, then you're neglecting your other things, like, you know, getting your hair cut and taking care of your beard and just time with yourself and your books and your studies and stuff. So, and even vlogging. And people miss you that you don't vlog as often as you used to. That's sad. They miss you. We were going to actually live stream last night for his birthday, but we had a surprise visitor come.
Yeah.
And Miss Ramona, if you are interrupting me, you give me crap all the time. No, but I was at the last word of my sentence. But I mean, it happens a lot. They just don't ever say anything to you. It's messed up. I know it's because I'm fat. You know that, right? It's fat bias. Oh, for sure. For sure. All these people that hate me, these haters, that's the only common thing. Like, the only thing, the things that they accuse me of, I would never have done. Like, I never did any of those things. I'm not a hateful person. I'm not a spiteful person. I don't have a mean bone in my body. I don't have a disrespectful bone in my body most of the time. It sometimes comes out, and I don't mean it to be disrespectful, but it does. Never intentionally.
It comes from my bone spurs.
What?
Bone spurs?
What comes from your bone spurs?
My angry.
Oh,
bad
like
side.
the mean bone in your body? I gotcha.
Um,
Sorry. I was very confused there for a second.